Hello guys and welcome to another weekly recap. This week we're going to be looking at collecting like terms, multiplying terms and solving equations. Okay, but before we start we need to ask ourselves, as every week, what grade we're going to try and get at the end of the year, and then you're going to ask yourself how you're going to get there. Okay, let's begin. So we're going to start by just collecting like terms. Remember, when you're collecting like terms and it's an add and take away, the terms themselves don't change, we just add them together. So we've got 1, 2, 3 k's there. So we're going to write 3k. Okay, moving to a little bit more difficult, we've got two different terms here. We've got t's and h's. So the first thing we do is we're going to work out the t's first. So we'll take 7t, and you always take the sign in front of the number. So adding 5t to that. So 7t plus 5t is going to give us 12t. And then I'm going to take positive 9h. So think about the number line, that's at 9 on the number line. And we're going to add 4 to it. So we've got 9 plus 4, which is going to give us 13h. Okay, and because we're in the positive numbers on the number line, we're going to put a plus here. Okay, we've got 8f minus 3b plus 2f minus 5b. Remember, you can pause these any time, have a go, and then go along with me. So we'll start with the s first. We've got 8f. Remember, you take the sign in front. So add 2f. That's going to give me 10f. And then I'm going to go and take my b's, but I'm starting at negative 3 on the number line. So think about the number line, we're at negative 3, so below 0. Then I'm taking 5b away. So if I was going to write this as a sum, it would be negative 3, take 5. So we're starting at negative 3 on the number line. We're taking 5, so that's going to take us to minus 8. Okay, so we're going to write here minus 8b. Okay, the minus comes from when the minus numbers on the number line. Okay, we've got 7a plus 8a. So we're going to add those together again, and that's going to give us 15a. And we have negative 5c again. Take 7c. So negative 5, take 7. It's going to give us negative 12. And because it's a minus, it's going to be minus negative minus 12c. Okay, so this one's slightly different. It looks different anyway. We've got g squareds and g's. Remember, when we're adding and subtracting, the endings, as long as they're the same, don't change. So here we've got 2g squared, and all we're just looking for is any other g squareds. So now we've got plus 8g squared. Okay? Now this is where people make a mistake. All we have to do is add the integer, the whole numbers, together. So that's going to give us 10g squared. Okay, we don't do anything to the g squared, it just stays the same. Now we move and have a look at, we've got negative 3g, and then we're going to take 7g from it. Okay, so we're starting at negative 3 on the number line, and then we're taking 7, and that's going to take us to negative 10. Okay, because it's minus 10, put in minus 10 here, and then just g at the end. That's it. We don't do anything with this now. That's completely finished. That's just as it is. Okay, so moving on to multiplying terms. So before we had k plus k plus k. That gave us 3k. When we multiply, we have to remember there's a little imaginary or invisible power of 1 on every number and letter. So when we multiply, we're going to get k times k, which is going to give us k, and we just count up the numbers. 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be k to the power of 3. So when you multiply the same letter, we get an increased power value. Okay, 3 times 3d. We'll just multiply the numbers first, which gives us 9, and we're just going to put d after it. 7k times 8kr. The first thing you want to do is multiply the numbers. So 7 times 8 is 56. And then we've got a k here with a little 1, a k here with a little 1, and an r with a little 1. Okay, so we've got 2 k's, so we've got a k, and we add the little numbers up, so it's k squared, and r just remains as it is. So 56k squared r. Okay, here we go again. We've got the big numbers first, so 4 times 2, which is 8. C. And that's got 5 on it, that's got 4 on it. So as we said before, we add these up, which is going to give us 9. Okay, multiply the big numbers, add the small numbers. Okay, let's move on to some solving equations. Right, I'm going to show you a different method than maybe you're used to, unless you've been in my class, which is the function machine. All we do, or you can call it the X arrow method. We start with an X, because that's what we're trying to find. Then, I draw an arrow, and I'm going to write down what I've done to X here, which is times by 2. Then I draw another arrow, and that gives me what I come out with. So it's like a function machine, which is 14. Okay, in reverse, I've got 14. I'm going to go backwards, so I have to do the opposite, which is to divide by 2. And that's going to give me what X is, which is 7. So for this, X is equal to 7. Okay, same again. Start with X arrow. I've added 6, and that's giving me 36. Okay, put that in reverse. I start with 36. I take 6, that's the opposite of add. And that's going to give me what X is. 36 take 6 is 30. So here, X equals 30. And we can use this for any equation, no matter how complicated, any linear equation we can use it for. Okay, so here we've got another one. We might be a bit more confused because it's got a fraction or a divide in it. But again, we start with X arrow. We have to know what this means. We know this means divide by 3. And that gives us 4. Okay, going backwards. Got the output, which is 4. We do the opposite, which is times 3. And that's going to give us 4 times 3, which is 12. So X is equal to 12. Okay, moving on to some more complicated equations. We start the same. Might need a bit more space though. X arrow. The first thing we're doing is we're timesing by 4. Then we're going to put another arrow. Then we're subtracting 11. And that's going to give us 9. Coming back the other way, we're starting with 9. We're doing the opposite of this, which is to add 11. And then we're just going to divide by 4, which is the opposite. And that's going to give us X. So 9 plus 11 is 20. Divide by 4 is 5. So X equals 5. So here we have 5x plus 9 gives us 44. Again, x, arrow, multiplied by 5 plus 9 is 44. Right, coming backwards. 44. Take 9. Opposite of multiply is divide. Divide 5. That's going to give us what x is. 44. Take 9 is 35. Divide by 5. So x is going to be 5. X equals 5. Okay, so even more difficult. So again, method is exactly the same. X arrow. So here, the first thing we're doing, remember this line means divide. So it means we're dividing by 7 first. Then another arrow, we're subtracting 4. Then that gives us 6. Okay, in reverse, we've got 6. We're adding 4. That's the opposite. Then we're multiplying by 7. And that will give us the value for x. 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 times 7 is 70. So the value of x is 70. Okay. Again, another try at this one. We've got x, the arrow, and we're dividing by 6 first. Then we're adding 6. And that gives us 4. Remember, we work from left to right, so make sure you do the divide part first and then the add. Coming back the other way, we've got 4. We're taking 6. Okay, so again, some negative numbers here. And then we're going to multiply by 6. 4 take 6 is minus 2, negative 2. Multiply that by 6 is going to give us negative 12. Okay, so here we've got some negative numbers. X equals negative 12. So now, some of us, when we see this, we think, no way, I can't do it. But you can, you just have to use the same X arrow method. Okay, so you need a bit more space. So X and an arrow. First thing we're doing here, so we move here, then to here, then to here. So we're timesing by 8 first. Then I'm going to subtract 4. Then we're going to divide by 7. And that's going to give us 4. So I multiplied by 8, I subtracted 4, I divided by 7, and it gave me 4. Like going back the other way, starting with 4, I'm multiplying by 7. Then I'm going to add 4. And then I'm going to divide by 8. Okay, see what that gives us. So 4 times 7, 7, 14, 21, 28. So on the long ones, it's sometimes helpful to write on each arrow as we go. So that's 28. We add 4, which gives us 32. And then we divide by 8, which is 4. So x here is equal to 4. Okay, last one. So we've got 5x plus 15 divided by 5 is equal to 10. So start with x and an arrow. Should be getting used to this now. Whenever you see an equation, this is the first thing you want to start with, x arrow. Then we're going to have multiplied by 5. Then we're going to add 15. And then divide by 5. And that gives us 10. Okay, in reverse, we've got 10. We're going to multiply by 5. We're going to subtract 15. And then we're going to divide by 5. And that will give us x. So 10 multiplied by 5 is 50. If we take 15 off that, that gives us 35. And then 35 divided by 5 is 7. So here, x is equal to 7. Okay, guys, so I hope that was helpful, and hopefully if you missed anything last week, this can bring you up to speed. And if you enjoyed the method for solving equations, try and adopt that for going into the future. Remember, guys, you've got to keep asking yourself what grade you want to get at the end of the year and how you're going to get there. And obviously the answer to that is by working hard. So I'll speak to you next week.